VM, sup, Richard? Not much, VM. Just got home. Fairly uneventful shift. I mean, my doctor apparently found something in my blood work, but that's part of getting old, right? You met the two ladies today, prospective wives. Cool. Um. Oh, the two girls at my work. I mean, I saw them both. Didn't talk to either of them. Yeah, I do. Like I say, didn't speak to them. Although they both made eye contact and smiled. My company is very strict about what we are and are not allowed to do during events. Charlie Jones, am I going to get timed out again? I don't know. Depends on why you were timed out. Who timed you out? VM. Anyway, what's up with the blood work? They found an indicator that I could have a larger problem. Um, it wasn't a urine sample, actually. That apparently there were cells that weren't supposed to be there. And it could just be a thing, or it could be um, an indicator of disease. So, a couple of my blood samples were on the high, which is abnormal for me. So, Jack Jones, none of your mods have stepped forward, and it cost you a donation. Hmm. I mean, I was really reluctant to get mods. I have mods. I don't know if they're helping anything. I mean, the whole problem was somebody kept impersonating Rusty. Now Rusty's not even here. What happened to Rusty? Charlie Jones, I'm here for you, not them. Hmm. I don't know, dude. I'm wondering what happened to Rusty. VM, did they get you a follow up checkup? I hope it's nothing major. Yeah, originally they told me they were going to follow up in a couple of months. Now they're going to follow up in 2 weeks, which implies implies that they're a little concerned. I mean, that's the thing. Charlie Jones, Rusty hasn't appeared on the other channel I'm managing, moderator for. He is also a mod there. I hid his doppelganger from the channel. VM, Charlie Jones, you are not a moderator on any channel. Mm. VM, where the hell is everyone? They're probably drunk. Charlie, I moderate for one channel and manage moderate for another. VM, Phil. I mean, my glucose was high, which is expected. And there's abnormal bacteria in my urine. That's not good. Charlie Jones, me too. VM, I'm quit worrying for Rusty Dog. I do not have notes for today's visit. VM, with the abnormal bacteria the cause of concern for the docs, or was it something else? Prelit, hello Richard. I don't know. They just scheduled an appointment. For 2 weeks from now, instead of, the original amount of time. And I think I have a fasting lab to do next. But they are concerned. I mean, my blood sugar still, it's under 200 most of the time, but it's still way too high. Yeah, fungal UTI from bacteria, yeast cells, especially in people with diabetes or weakened immune system. Source Google, yeah. That makes sense. Don't make dollars, though. Yeah, I mean, people have already started celebrating the 4th of July. I could hear fireworks that were going off so loud they were setting off car alarms. Charlie Jones, Mr. Fabulous. VM, any free barbecues near you? Where's Amanda? Who knows? VM, for the 4th of July. I don't really do a lot of celebrating. My thumb hurts, though. It's pretty healed up, though. Still swollen. Oh. VM, how did your old man celebrate the 4th when you were younger? We actually went to my Uncle Danny's house and set off fireworks. That's how we did it. The whole family used to get together. We'd have, piccolo pizza and whatever have you, but that was a long time ago, and most of those people are dead now, and the ones that are alive can't really afford. Charlie Jones, we don't really have stuff like that here. VM, is Uncle Danny still around? You like him? I didn't dislike him. He's long dead. I mean, more than 10 years in the ground. Yeah, he was a Vietnam vet, and he was a mechanic for the Army. And some of the chemicals that he worked with apparently killed his liver. So he passed away at a reasonably young age. This was almost 20 years ago now. VM, did your grandmother outlive all her children? No. My father was the oldest, and she only outlived him by a couple of months. I believe one of her daughters is still alive, and the other one died within the last 4 years. Charlie Jones, lead paint, arsenic paint, ect. It had something to do with transmissions. Old Danny was a mechanic for the Army. But again, a few months before my uncle passed away, his daughter, well, no, his wife's daughter, my aunt's daughter, uh, told me to leave and never come back. And I haven't spoken to her since. Now, from what I understand, or no, not his daughter, my bad. Oh yes, his adopted daughter, I guess. I think what happened was that my aunt had a child from a previous marriage. I don't never met her father. And so it wasn't Uncle Danny's kid. Charlie Jones, I know brake pads had asbestos, but that's lungs, stomach lining related. Yeah, as I say, it was something to do with transmissions. Again, like Danny was a good guy. It's just that when he died, he was dead. And it's like, family just didn't care about me, so I didn't care about them. Yeah, I had an uncle in construction, did a lot of work with asbestos since it paid well. Died at 43 from stomach cancer. Yeah. One of the things I did is I talked to my boss about the building I work in, and I said, have we been inspected for asbestos? And he said, yes, we have. So, that's not a concern. Lead still is. Philip Rochi, Richard can't sleep here. I got off work about an hour ago now. Yeah, a little over an hour ago. how was work? It was quiet, actually. I mean, um, normally I get to do a lot more patrolling, so I see a lot more stuff. But to be completely honest with you, it was, you could generally measure the amount of people by the number of bottle service girls. And I mean, I think there's up to 9 of them, but we only had like 2 tonight. And just a slow night, you know, like they didn't set up a merch table or anything. Johnny Jones, my grandfather worked at a Whitney mine, Blue Sky mine. Bill Brochi, happy 4th of July, by the way. Yes, Philip, happy 4th of July. BM, apart from your mom, what were other deaths that affected you the most? Um, it's really hard to say. Happy 4th of July, Phil. Phil Brochi, same to you, VM. Look, shortly after my family disowned me, they started dying off. And it started with my cousin Brian, who died in a car accident, which was really sad. But, you know, Brian and I were never close. We didn't have much love for each other. I don't think he cared for me. And, you know, I heard that my aunt on my mother's side passed away, and that they put her in a pauper's grave, which that hurt a bit, but then, you know, my mother and her family didn't get along either. Philip, did you get any of the packages? I think so. There were some on my lawn when I got home. I haven't opened them yet. Charlie Jones, so they received a curse, basically. Ah. You know, on the one hand, Brian stuck his nose into my business, and for that I was very bitter. But on the other hand, I didn't want him dead. I don't know if you could call it a curse. I mean, my grandmother died at 99, you know. And she had my father at 17, so he was quite old as well. Philip Rochi, you look pretty tired, brother. Tired of all this bullshit. Yeah, I had to be at the doctor in the morning, and then at work in the evening. And I mean, you know, the doctor, I had to go and get more insulin, which took forever. And they want to pump me full of more frickin' pills. VM, were you ever close with your mom's parents? I don't even remember what they looked like. They were in Philadelphia. I live in California. Herbert Johnson, good morning, friend. I remember going to Philadelphia for my grandfather's funeral. I didn't know the man. Phil Perochi, you are working again today, right? 3 p.m. Yeah. On the 3rd, I work 3 to 3. And on the 4th, I'll probably work 3 to 3 again. I might work 3 to 2, but it's going to depend on the number of guests and whether I have backup. Jocktober Junkie, what do you do? I am a security officer. I guard a historic building in downtown Los Angeles. Well, Brochi, I feel like it's going to be crazy tonight. Probably. Herbert Johnson, how's the particular particle accelerator coming along? Nicely. VM, but why didn't they ever make an effort to connect with you? You were their late daughter's child. Did they have a good relationship with your mom? No. Both of my mother's parents died before her. My understanding is they had her rather late in life, and you know, I think it took something like 20 years or 15 years maybe after my mother's death for my uncle to contact me and be like, okay, I want you to go to your sister's wedding, and it's like, no, dude. So I was never close with my family, and I mean, I talked to my cousin Lori. I couldn't name her brothers. And I mean, I got a hit on our ancestry, and it said there was a gentleman by the name of Joseph who was a distant cousin of mine. And I go, "Hey, Lori, do we know a guy named Joseph?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's my brother's son." I didn't even know he had a son. Bill Brochi, do the cats get scared with all the fireworks? I think so. China Jones, some people suck. Yes. BM, oh, I see. Makes sense now. What were your ancestry results? Well, it doesn't mark me as being Irish. It marks me as just being British, which is a more general term. I can be traced back to the original Mormons. I'm 31% Ashkenazi Hebrew, and I have Slavic ancestry from the Ukraine. So, I mean, I haven't looked at them in a while. Philip Rochi, are you going to crash out after this live stream? Probably, yeah, I'm pretty tired. Herbert Johnson, they were shooting those things off at 2 a.m. here. Never got to sleep. Yeah, they're still shooting them off. I heard one about 5 minutes before the stream. VM, what percentage Sicilian are you? I don't know. Apparently, Grandma was from Sicily, but she was definitely part Jewish. Otherwise, I would be less than 25% Hebrew. So there's that, but I don't remember what the results said. I'd have to look them up again. Raider Bolding said hi. Bill Brochi, how is your back holding up? It's better, actually. I mean, I did discuss going to like a chiropractor with my doctor, but he said he didn't feel I needed treatment. VM, would you rather visit Ireland or Israel? Um, well, I'm removed from Israel by 2,000 years. I'm removed from Ireland by a few hundred. So that's a tough question. It more depends on why I'm going. I mean, if I'm going to go see the ancient burial mound of King Nile, yeah, Ireland would probably be the better option, but also I don't like the heat, so the desert doesn't appeal to me. But I don't really have a lot of desire to go to either. I mean, I'm not really a vacation guy, and the big thing in Israel is the Dead Sea. And I mean, I don't have a beach body. I really don't. Charlie Jones, come to Australia instead, where everything wants to kill me. Herbert Johnson, Ireland is beautiful. Phil Brochi, Jerusalem, yes. Go see the Temple Mount. Charlie Jones, the Dead Sea has floaters. Yeah, I mean, it's very salty, so it's easy to float. Charlie King, you could get a beach body for next year. Yeah. I mean, it won't, but I'm pretty banged up. Herbert Johnson, I'm moving out to Arizona desert. Oh, I haven't been to Arizona in a long time. When I was a kid, I had an art class in junior high school. And the teacher's like, wow, you've really seen the desert. You painted that from memory? I'm like, yeah. Philip Rochi, you lost 50 pounds. That's quite the accomplishment. I gained 5 pounds back. Um, so a little more than 50, but I mean, it's still a slow process, and I mean, the insulin is going to make me gain weight. It's just that's the problem with insulin. They wanted to put me on metformin, but it can cause vomiting, and I'm like, oh dear God. Philip Rochi, fluctuation is common just as long as it's not tens. Yeah. Philip Rochi, how about Ozempic? Yeah, I don't want. Uh, I don't want the injections. Herbert Johnson, Wegovy, huh? VM. Metformin tablets are quite big and tough to swallow. No, I have metformin. I don't take it because of diarrhea. They wanted to put me on Ozempic, which could cause vomiting. And I told him, I said, look, if my condition doesn't improve, we can try that as an option. But you're already pumping me full of so much shit. And I mean, really, it's a behavioral thing. I need to change my behavior. I need to eat healthier food. I mean, yesterday was the first time I fully unloaded the dishwasher since I had been hospitalized. Couldn't do it with my hand. And, I ran a full load after that. And I've got another 5 or 6 loads to do, I guess, and ran out of dishes. Herbert Johnson, it's hard to stick to a diet. Yeah, I know. Phil Rochi, could you meal prep? I know it's probably hard with the hand. I do have meal prep. Um, I have a bunch of soup I made that's frozen, and yeah, I mean I can meal prep. It's not a big deal, but I mean there's stuff I need to do. Charlie King, Ozempic Wegovy just makes you less hungry. It works the same as eating less without it. It's not what my doctor said. I mean, I'll talk to him on the 16th. I don't know. Herbert Johnson, it'll make you puke and diarrhea. My stepdad was on it. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Look, guys, one of the things my dad took was a drug called fen-phen, and it nearly killed him. Zion X Gun Drop plays. Oh, hey, Richard, I didn't know you were live at this time. Let's go. Um, Normally I'm live at this time twice a week. Phil Brochi, did you stretch at all? That helps me, even rotating my neck, shoulders, putting my foot on the wall and leaning into it for my calves. Uh, didn't stretch recently. Charlie Jones, fireworks. Baby, you're a firework. Come on in. Okay. I think we're going to cut this one to 40 minutes because I'm obviously pretty tired. Charlie Jones on the screen. Yes, that's a firework. Well, Brochi, I'm kind of apprehensive of medication too. You know, Philip, my father had a suitcase full of drugs. And he would go to his doctor and say, "Give me some of this." Doctor would be like, "All right, I'll write you a prescription." Then a couple months later, he'd go, "Give me some of this." Be something else. And it's like, what the hell are you doing hoarding drugs? They're not good forever. Oh, Brochi, suitcase, Jesus, I mean, it wasn't a full size, it was more like a carry-on bag, but it was hard. That was my old man, though. He was weird. He spent more on dietary supplements in one day than he gave me for my college education. Of course, he only gave me $800 for my college education, but can you imagine spending more than $800 on dietary supplements? Philip, did you think it was attributed to some of the addictive behaviors? Yeah, the old man was obsessed with pills. I mean, look, everyone in my family is weird. And I mean, I guess I'm pretty weird too, but like with my old man, the pills was like an excessive compulsive thing. He was always trying to find that magic pill to turn his life around, and you know, in the end, it really just tore him apart. Charlie Jones, I was told my Spectrum medication will be unavailable till the end of the year. I've been waiting since Christmas last year. Well, Brochi, oh, no one is normal, brother. No. Yeah, but I mean, there's acceptable limits. I mean, like I have a collection of rubber duckies. That's kind of weird. But if you have a collection of like noses, that's even more weird. Oh, Perochi, I hope you get your medication, Charlie. Yeah, let's hope. Herbert Johnson, I feel like you'd be a good radio show host. I've been told that. Believe it or not, when I was in junior high, the bus driver told me that she always enjoyed my conversations with a friend of mine named Chris as we rode the bus together. And then one day Chris started cursing a lot, and she was like, "Stop that, that's very upsetting." Charlie Jones, Philip, do you know which moderator timed me out the other day? VM, were all the pills he took with prescription or did he take over the counter as well? He took any pill he could get his damn hands on. He was importing drugs from Italy at one point. Phil Brochi, probably El Pistafo. I never time anyone out myself. There's the thing. I didn't get moderators to time people out. I got moderators to remember who was who. Charlie Jones, it's crazy. We are the same genetically as our grandparents, but with our modern food and society, we are more unhealthy and obese. Yeah. VM, how did you think he lived to 80? Eh. I mean, he spent much of the last few years of his life in a care facility, so he didn't live to be a healthy 80. But then, like I say, his mother lived to be 99. I mean, if the old man had taken better care of himself, he probably would have lived to be 100. And so would have his mother, because I think she died of grief. VM, genetics might come into culture for you too then, Neil. Well, Brochi, why is healthy food more expensive? I guess fast food is more accessible and affordable. Really gets me a lot of time where buying a burger is easier. Yeah, healthy food is has less of a shelf life, so that's kind of why. It's you can store shitty food for longer periods of time. Charlie King, he needed more pills. No, he did not. Charlie Jones, as moderator, you can click on individual users and check channel activity. It tells you how many live streams you have been on and everything they commented. Oh, really? Herbert Johnson, I'm addicted to frozen Texas toast. Okay. I think I've had that a few times. It's okay. Don't know how you can become addicted to it, but you can become addicted to just about anything. Herbert Johnson, I'll literally eat a whole box in one sitting. How many come in a box? I don't remember those things being big. VM, onion rings or French fries? French fries. Charlie Jones. It also shows numbers of timeouts, deleted comments, and hides. All right, guys, we got less than 2 minutes left. I'm going to stop at the 40. I think I need some sleep. Herbert Johnson, it's 8 slices, 1,200 cal. 8 slices. That's pretty big. Well, Brochi, hope you sleep well, man. I'm going to crash out myself. Yeah. Zion Gumdrops plays If This World Was Mine. Yeah. Herbert Johnson, see you later, Richard. Charlie Jones, managing moderators can add to the band W. Words lists. VM, how was your sister's wedding to Jimmy like? Where was the venue? I wasn't there. But they had a wedding and it was a Hawaiian shirt wedding. And I do believe they had it in a field. But I refused to go because I can't stand my sister. Anyway, folks, it's time for me to crash. I will see you all later. I'm Richard.